All right, what else is going on? Well, I did see this. I did say at the beginning that there is possibly explanation of who has been selling, right? I did see this ancient 15,000 Bitcoins moving 10 days prior to the massive BTC drop. A lot of it moving to Kraken, right? So why? No one knows, right? 15,000 Bitcoin equates to quite a lot. 2.5 something, almost $3 billion, right? So whoever wanted to sell, if they wanted to do this, they should have done it in OTC market. But if they're selling that much on the open market on Kraken or wherever, yeah, you go see down, massive down spikes, right? And that is exactly what we saw. Just take a look recently. We had one over here. Well, 4 hours show this better. You can see massive sell right here, massive sell over here, massive sell over here, right? So we've been seeing a lot of that, and it could be due to this one ancient, holder, and for whatever reason decided to sell about $3 billion worth of BTC. Oh, I don't know, but on top of this, with the liquidations I've been telling you guys about, with overall fear right now, there's just not a lot of buyers. So yeah, it could definitely be the cause and cause markets to go down. But here's the thing, all right? Even though things are kind of fearful, kind of, bad right now, right? There are still a lot of people that's very hopeful. This is comparing Bitcoin from a chart perspective to the 2013 to 2016 level. But interesting enough, the RSI and this double top scenario is actually playing out pretty identically, right? So there are a lot of chartists that still say, hey, this is a great time to be buying. But as I've been saying, from a fundamental standpoint, nothing has changed. Bitcoin is still strong, and you could argue strongest it's ever been, because you look at some of these things like illiquid supply, how much is taken off the exchanges and no longer tradable, all-time high. You have long-term holder supply, all-time high. Accumulation addresses, all-time high, right? Number of people holding above 1 Bitcoin, all-time high. So the holders are not going away. They continue to hodl, they continue to DCA, and the network itself is only getting stronger. The hash rate is near all-time high. Difficulty is all-time high, right? So these are things that I care about. The fundamentals of Bitcoin, and they have never been better. So despite the fact that the price could be manipulated, short-term there could be volatility, but long-term, we know Bitcoin is the hardest and scarcest asset out there and will continue to thrive as more and more people adopt it and more countries adopt it. What else is there? El Salvador, of course, it's been 1 year since they adopted Bitcoin, and right around the corner, they will be releasing their Bitcoin bonds, which is going to be the very first in the world, right? So they are still moving forward, even though there's a lot of naysayers, including the IMF and World Bank and WEF, everyone saying that, El Salvador made a huge, giant mistake by endorsing Bitcoin and legalizing it as legal tender. President Bukele is still moving forward. He believes in what Bitcoin could bring to not only his country, but to the world, right? So he's still moving forward. Bitcoin bonds could be around the corner. That could be very, very, very positive once it get released too. Speaking in countries, it's because it's happening. We know already El Salvador embraced Bitcoin, right? Several other smaller countries have embraced Bitcoin, but you're starting to see a lot of larger countries that want to embrace it. So Brazilians spent almost $1 billion on crypto in May, right? And now they are looking at coming out with their own digital currency as well. A lot of countries are looking at embracing crypto as well, even though many of them are looking at CBDC, central bank digital currency, right? But they're also opening up to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others, right? And building digital wallets and building out the infrastructure. So these are all positive things that are still happening, despite the price being down. So these are fantastic things to focus on. We still have a lot of Bitcoin miners that are purchasing a ton of Bitcoin mining machines, 10,000 in this case for 28 million. These miners, they're not going away. They are only strengthening the network, but also they are hoarding as much Bitcoin as they can because they know it's scarce, right? A lot of these miners, they don't sell any Bitcoin that they mine, right? All these newly fresh Bitcoin that gets released, you know, from the block rewards, guess where they're going? They're going straight into wallets of these miners, and they're never hitting anywhere else. So that's exactly what's happening, and that's continuing forward, right? And I show you guys a lot of these kind of metrics, on-chain metrics, a lot of indicators and models, right? But, you know, the number of holders continue to grow. The number of addresses continue to grow. The number of unspent Bitcoin continues to grow and reach an all-time high, right? So the fundamentals of Bitcoin did not change. And the miners, not going away. Just this morning, I cover about Hut 8. They added another 300 plus Bitcoin to their stockpile. Now they have over 3,000. A lot of these miners, they are not giving up. They continue to mine, continue to hold because they know we will get through this, right? So stay strong, my friends. I know most of you guys are, but for those of you guys that are kind of losing faith, right, know that we will get through this. There's a lot of macro stuff. There may be some whale games, you know, whale manipulation, right? But we will get through it. We will get through it. You know, there are still some that don't believe. And I don't know why this guy was allowed to be interviewed. It's a nobody, and they just label this guy as one independent Bitcoin and crypto researcher. Okay, what are his credentials? What makes him credible in this space? No one knows. Okay, so, but they did interview this guy, and he's changed. You know, he's all, you know, doom and gloom. Sell all of your Bitcoin now. And this actually relates to Ethereum, right? And some of the things, you know, just to summarize what he said, Bitcoin will never hit 69,000 again. Never, ever, ever. Okay? He's like, oh, the climate crisis, you know, ESG, right? Those things will hold Bitcoin down. And also, he did state that once, here, to quote, I think after the merge, investors and regulators are going to realize that Bitcoin's proof of work was never really necessary. We're going to see a huge crash in Bitcoin's price. What makes you think that? Okay, again, how credible are you? And to declare that Bitcoin will never ever see 69,000, I think you just lose all credibility right away, right? But anyways, there are still some that you know, maybe he's an ETH bag holder. Maybe that's why he's saying it. I don't know, right? But it's just, yeah, you still have a lot of people just, you know, very, very negative. Always negative, right? Always negative. I just don't see the point of that. And in this case, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. So if you want to learn more, head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.